My life is have been very strange. It's, uh, it's a rare life I have had. I I have never had a real friend. I was very isolated as a kid. I My mother gave birth to me when she was 42 years old, and that was very old to be in 1952 when you are 42 there. It was like almost like 60 today. And my brother had been born 2.5 years earlier, and my mother thought it was over with giving birth, so she didn't understood when she had no bleeding that she was pregnant. She thought it was over, that she was so old. So my mother denied me in her womb, and it was not before she was in the 5th month, as she told me. Was it when they have a party, and she was drinking and eating, and she had to throw up. And when she threw up, she could feel me kicking in her womb, and she understood that she was pregnant. And no one wanted to have me because my mother was old, and they had adopted a daughter 5 years earlier, and then they have got a son, and it was enough for them. So this was something that should not have been, and if she had done an abortion, but now it was in month 5, so she couldn't. She had to deal with it, and I suppose that my brother and my sister heard about it, that my parents was not happy that I should be born. So they started to hate me before I was born. And then when I be born, I was so very cute. And my adopted sister, she was like a boy, and no one paid attention on her. But when I come there and was so cute, all the people wanted only to look at me. And my sister, she hated me so much. So when I was about between 2 and 3 years old, one day, what I understand was she allowed to take me out, look after me. It was in the old time when people thought it should not happen anything. And so my adopted sister, she was almost between 7 and 8 years old, and she took and pushed me out in the street. She pushed me out in the street, and I was driven over of a truck, and I died. Yes, I died. My whole childhood, I asked my mother what was this bright light. I could remember. And my mother be scared and said, "You are too young. You don't understand. You couldn't remember that. You can't remember that. You were so young," she said to me all the time. And then she gave me an answer, and I knew it was a lie. I could feel it. I was not pleased with the answer she gave me, so I knew it was a lie. So I asked her over and over again, and she'd be so scared because she understand where I have been, that I have been to God. It was God's shining that I remember. And then I remember someone holding me very strong, like this hands was of a metallic. It was very hard. And I used to ask my mother, "Why did you hold me? Why didn't you help me when I have so much pain? Why do you hold me so hard?" I said to her, but she couldn't answer it. And so I didn't understand until God was coming to me in 2000. Suddenly God came into my home and he told me about this. The first time I died, I was between 2 and 3 years old. And yes, I have been dead more times in my life. And I'm going to talk about my childhood more into next video, because my voice is not so good. I can't hold to talk for a long time. So I take a rest now. But come back and watch next video. Shalom.